Now we all know that Nevada politics is kind of dirty. So why do I say that? Well, there was chaos over the weekend at the Democratic convention in Nevada, where supporters of Bernie Sanders alleged to have been cheated by the state party. So now there are some videos, lots and lots of videos posted on social media to kind of show you what really happened. There's a lot of great people, took a lot of footage, documented this, and I do have one video I want to show you to kind of give you a snapshot of why people are so angry. Because you might have heard on different news sources that there were a lot of angry Bernie Sanders supporters, that there might even have been some violence. Well, we're going to go through some of that, but first I want to let you know why people are angry. So what happened is that there was first a decision to change the convention rules by adopting some temporary convention rules through a voice vote. Now, this rule change involved with going with the delegate count from the first tier vote that happened when Hillary Clinton had won the original caucus results, right? And ignoring the delegate count from the second tier. Now, the second tier vote was a caucus. It was a state caucus, and Bernie Sanders had gotten more delegates. He actually won that because Hillary Clinton delegates stayed home. They didn't show up. So you don't show up, you don't win. This rules change was to say that that second one doesn't count. We're only going to count the first one. Okay. So obviously, Bernie Sanders supporters, well, they don't like that outcome. That's kind of bullshit. So of course, they decided to have a petition brought to the convention in order to do this rules change. Now, I want to show you this first video here that has a speaker that's calling for a recount from the earlier rules vote, right? And then in this video, it also shows Nevada Democratic Party Chairwoman Roberta Lang calling for a voice vote on those rules. So check this out and see what happens.
I am asking you to have a recount. 9:30 was too soon for a preliminary vote. The petitions did not get to everyone. Everyone wanted to come in and get a seat or get their badge or get things at the different tables around and get their pins. But they didn't get the petitions. And that's what we need. You can't count petitions if nobody got to sign them.
Okay, we have 3 speakers for and 3 speakers
Point of order.
against. I will call the question. It has been moved and seconded that the temporary convention rules be passed by the body. All those in favor say aye. Order. 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 All those opposed say no. The ruling by the chair is not debatable. It cannot be challenged, and I move that I announce that the rules have passed by the body.
All right, so from that video, you can see that there's a lot of noise, right? The nays made a ton of noise. From that vantage point, The nays won. Now, of course, there are people that were sitting in different parts of the room said the nays were just about as loud as the ayes, so we really don't know. But see, this is why I hate voice votes, because it's not abundantly clear who's louder. I mean, what kind of system is this? Are we in the 1800s? I mean, come on. But of course, to Lang, she was like, nope, we passed the rules. Oh, turns out, your Bernie delegates, they don't count. That second tier vote, gone. Sorry. The first one counts. Hillary Clinton is the winner. She's going to get more delegates. Now, of course, look, there are some people, some Clinton supporters, and I've been reading articles about this all day, and comments as well. And there are Clinton supporters that are saying, well, hey man, you didn't know the rules. You didn't sign up, right? Rules are rules. Ha, sad day for you. We invalidated your second round of voting where Sanders had won. Okay, well, it's your fault for not knowing the rules. Sad day for you. Well, here's the thing. What's the point of knowing the rules when they can be changed arbitrarily and unilaterally, using something as unreliable as a voice vote, where the winner in this case, well, isn't clear? I mean, you've got people on different sides of the room saying, no, the ayes were, much louder. No, the nays were louder. Well, we couldn't really tell. I couldn't tell that much from the video that I saw. The nays were louder. But we don't know. It's very subjective. You couldn't tell. And in situations like this where you can't tell, the convention is actually supposed to do something called a vote of division of assembly. Now, of course, that just involves people standing on different sides of the room to get counted. That's it. That would have solved this issue. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Instead, rules are adopted. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And you could, of course, hear the rage after that. And it's understandable. Now, another thing where people were understandably pissed was that during the convention, 64 Sanders supporters were denied delegate status, 6 of whom were, of course, later admitted. Now, there was 1,693 delegates, and alternatives counted for Clinton and 1,662 for Sanders. Now, those 6 to 64, that could have given Sanders the majority and gave him additional delegates. Now, state party representatives said the people in question were denied delegate status because their records couldn't be located or they weren't registered as Democrats by May 1st. Well, that sounds kind of strange, right? Now, if they were delegates before and had participated in the first and the second round, you'd think that they would, one, know the rules, which some Clinton supporters are saying, no, they didn't know the rules, they didn't sign up, so they shouldn't count. Well, you would think that they would know the rules at that point, or have already been registered as Democrats at that point, if they were already involved. So this is getting really kind of fishy, right? Now, to be fair, 8 Clinton supporters were also denied delegate status, right? Now, there's actually a report written about the delegates being left out, stating that they weren't given a chance to demonstrate to the committee that they were actually registered Democrats. Now, they could say, look, we had our registration changed. Now, shit like that's happened. It happened in Arizona, it happened in New York, and it happened in Nevada. People have been re-registered or unregistered due to errors in the system. Or maybe shenanigans. We don't know. But it's happened. It's happened to registered Democrats. And they didn't even get a chance to demonstrate that they had been Democrats. And some of these people were lifelong Democrats. 30, 40 years in the party. Nope, no chance. Sad day for you. We've seen this movie before. Oh, golly gee, we cannot find your registration. Or your information. I guess you can't be a delegate. Sad day for you. Sad day for you indeed. Now, of course, after all this is when people really got pissed. Now, a woman named Rachel Avery actually tweeted this out, attached with a video, basically showing chants of people yelling, chanting, bullshit, 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 bullshit. You know why? Because for one, it is bullshit. And for two, because of this, because of the crowd reaction, the site where this is being held, they decided to shut the lights off on them. Quote, they ignored the vote, turned the lights off, turned the sound way up. Truly bullshit. Ignoring our voices. Team Bernie, Nevada. So already, they're turning the lights out, they're turning the music on, they're trying to drown people out so they can't get their voice heard. Great, great. Now, if this isn't bad enough, it gets worse because now comes the corporate media. Now, corporate media calls Bernie supporters unruly, violent Bernie bros, who basically threaten Clinton supporters, as well as threatening their own Nina Turner. Now, of course, that's bullshit. They actually didn't boo Nina Turner, right? In fact, Nina Turner came out on Twitter and cleared this up on Saturday. Quote, I was not booed. Folks were upset with the process. Envy Dems convention leaders. I was shown love by Bernie supporters today. Oh, but where's the corporate media on that? Oh, they're not going to say anything. Yeah, look at those Bernie supporters. Yeah, booing Nina Turner. Yeah, she's a woman of color. They're all Bernie bros. They all obviously hate women, even if they support Sanders. They do that because they can roll with that narrative. They don't say that, oh, yeah, it turns out they didn't actually boo Nina Turner, nor were they violent, or, yes, they were loud because they were angry. Do people get loud when they're angry? You betcha. Of course they do. But no, here's corporate media's stance on it. And this is from MSNBC. Quote, what's far clearer is how unruly the party gathering became. Nevada's John Ralston reported that the convention ended with security shutting down the event, which is true, followed by pro-Sanders activists rushing the stage, yelling obscenities, and throwing chairs. Wall Street Journal. They reported that, quote, organizers of the Nevada State Democratic Convention said they had to rush to wrap up the, quote, unruly and unpredictable event on Saturday after security became an issue and objects, including chairs, were thrown. Now, here's a statement from the State Democratic Party. They said, quote, at approximately 10 p.m. on Saturday night, the director for security at the Paris Las Vegas hotel informed the state party and representatives from both presidential campaigns that the property could no longer provide the necessary security under conditions made unruly and unpredictable. Now, there was video of some people supposedly being unruly and unpredictable, and it was posted by somebody who was there, Adrienne Ashley. Now, she posted this on Facebook, and you know, if you can check out her page, you can see the videos in full, because she was there and she filmed the whole damn thing. Now, in one of the videos, you could see that one guy, he picked up a chair and then put it down. Other Bernie supporters were like, dude, put the chair down. And he put it down, and then you could see the camera panning to where people were hugging it out. No. Violent. Unruly and unpredictable. Now, there was also a guy that flipped off the people on the stage. Oh my God. Unruly and unpredictable. No, they were pissed. And actually, it's quite predictable because it turns out that when you ignore people and rig the process, those same people are going to be kind of angry about it. But of course, the media narrative is that, angry, sexist Bernie bros, they're unruly. Man, they're causing trouble. Now, there was another video where somebody, we don't know, they say somebody was attacked. There was no video of the attack, but there was definitely someone on the ground. Other people say, no, she fainted due to all the commotion and excitement. But immediately, the media narrative is to say, she was attacked. Her credentials were ripped out of her hand. And then violent because of the Bernie bros. But in fact, we don't know anything about that particular person or situation. We don't know what happened. Could it be somebody got a little unruly? Maybe. Certainly. It could be just as, be just as likely for that same person to have just passed out. That happens before. How many times have people passed out at political rallies? Shit happens, man. And here's the thing, right? There were no police reports, no arrests, nothing like that. Okay? Nothing filed, nothing official. So to say that they were throwing things, there's really no evidence of people throwing things. Were there plenty of people shouting obscenity? Sure. But once again, you screw people over, they're going to show you how angry they are. All right, now, here's the thing, right? Now, the party, I gave you the party's release, right? Their press release. Now, the party did not say that there was violence, that there was people throwing things. That's what the media was talking about, and it came from that Joel Roston guy. Okay, so where's the video on that? Because there's plenty of video on our side to show that, no, people weren't throwing things or being violent. But hey, it turns out that even though they were not violent, they still decided to bring in the cops and ask everyone to leave because they were being unpredictable. We don't know. Like, things are getting a little loud. People are getting pretty uncomfortable. You know what? You know what we have to do? Yeah. We're gonna have to.
They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.
They're kicking us out the door. They kicked them all out the door. And of course, from that angle, people even got more pissed. They kicked everyone out, not because they were violent, but just because it became a little unruly. People were mad, and the politicians were scared of the people that they just fucked over. So, we're uncomfortable. And they were surrounded by cops. They brought a whole bunch of them in. A line of them. Well, I got news for you. Political revolutions are by nature uncomfortable for people in power. They're supposed to be. Especially when they pull shit like this. But here's my greater point, right? There's no video evidence of people being violent and throwing chairs. So, look, maybe the media needs to wait until it has all the facts. Now, if video comes out later showing the people actually throwing chairs and throwing bottles at the stage, okay, well, hey, I'll report on that and then I'll condemn it. Because at no point, I don't care what camp you're in, political violence is not acceptable. We can actually work out our differences like actual human beings and not Republicans. So anyway, now at the end, this was a hell of a shit show, man. But not in the way that the corporate media is covering it. I think the real show of force was using their political power to their advantage to change the rules, bringing in cops and shutting down protests. Now in the end, it turns out that after all this, Hillary Clinton ends up getting more delegates. Now, those same media outlets that are covering this, right, that say that Bernie Sanders has absolutely no chance of winning, so the delegates don't even matter because the race is pretty much already over, right? Well, look, if the race was already over and these delegates don't matter, then why would they change the rules to invalidate the second caucus where Bernie Sanders had won, where he would pick up an additional 7 delegates? If she's so far ahead, why do this? And why continue to report on these stories with their obvious bias against Bernie Sanders and his supporters? Why continue to do that? Why continue to push that false narrative? I've got no answer other than they're desperate to have Hillary Clinton win. They're desperate. And they're desperate to push this narrative where the establishment wins and everyone else loses. Because they realize that Bernie Sanders is a one guy who's going to shake things up. He's not going to continue to go along to get along like the rest of the establishment, like Barack Obama, like Hillary Clinton. He would change things, and that scares the crap out of the establishment. That scares the crap out of Washington. And this is why I say that politics is dirty. Now, stuff like this you've come to expect on the Republican side, but this is the Democratic Party. I thought they were supposed to be better than this. But it turns out if you actually want structural change that actually goes against the people that are in power, and you might actually want to change the system, well, then I guess you're going to do whatever you can to try to shut down someone like Bernie Sanders and something like his political revolution.